Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of the 5-day success challenge. My name is Nina Robert, and I'll be with you for the next hour. And today we're going to dive even deeper into the success equation. Because as we said the last 2 days, success is an exact science and success is an equation, and we only need to know the exact elements and what we need to change in order for us to achieve greater, massive results. So let's start. Welcome, everyone. So a few housekeeping rules. We are streaming on our Facebook page and inside the YouTube channel. And if you registered with me using your email, you will be receiving the replays link just after the session. So welcome, everyone. And thank you for joining me today live. All right. If you have any questions about the homework or about the previous sessions, please let me know inside the Facebook group or in the chat. Feel free to add your questions. If not, we are already ready to start. So let me share my screen and let's get going. All right, there we go. So a little recap of what we did yesterday. So yesterday we talked about the stick person and we identified this drawing that would bring more clarity about our mind and about our subconscious mind and explain exactly how our mind works. And we saw that in order for us to change our results, we need to have a clear picture of what's going on inside our mind, and we need to have a clear picture of our mind. We also saw that the mind is not a thing, and we usually assimilate the mind to the brain. They are two different things because mind is not a thing. Mind is movement, and our body or our actions are the representation of that movement. And in order for us to have a clear picture of that, we use the stick person, and we identified the two circles as the first circle being the mind and the second smaller circle being the body. And we said that the mind is basically divided into two main composites. That is the conscious mind, where our thinking and our ability to choose our thoughts and to build new ideas is situated, and our subconscious mind, that is the hidden part of it, and where our paradigm and where our beliefs are stored. It's a kind of software that we operate on, or if you will, a kind of operating system that we operate on as a human being. So we saw that stick person figure and we identified the concepts of paradigm and the concepts of the subconscious mind. And we saw how to achieve better results or change whatever that we need to change in our life just by understanding or having a better picture of our mind and having a better picture of what's actually going on into our subconscious mind. That is the hidden part of it. We also saw that we have a choice to choose our thoughts and to decide whatever ideas that we want to accept, ignore, or reject. So whatever idea that we are picking up using our five senses, always we need to remember that we have a choice to either accept, ignore, or choose some other idea or build another thought that will move us forward towards our results. And we saw the importance of really staying focused on only the ideas that will move you forward towards whatever kind of life that you want. That was the second point. And then we established the fact that you become what you think about the most, or what you think about all day long, or what you repeat in terms of messages or in terms of behaviors over and over and over again, because your present results are actually the result or the consequence of whatever kind of behavior, habits, or self-beliefs that you have or that you built throughout your childhood, throughout your education, throughout your experience. And in order for you to have a different result, you need to change that. You need to change that self-talk. You need to change those ideas that are surrounding you if they're not serving you, and you need to change the paradigm. So if you guys have any questions about what we saw yesterday, please let me know. and today I want the session to be more interactive. So if you happen to join me on Zoom, please feel free to, when we start the Q&A part, to unmute yourself if you want to share or to express your question out loud. Please feel free to do so. And this actually will be a very good exercise concerning what we're doing today, that is the self-image, and that is our main subject for today. So let's start the self-image topic. So here's a quote that I love, that Henry Ford says, that the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. So which one are you? So most of the time, we think or we have an opinion of ourselves, and especially of our ability to do or not to do something. And guess what? We are right. So whatever we think we can or cannot do or be, we are right, because our thoughts and our beliefs will shape our action. If I step into something new and I have the belief that I'm not able to do that, well, I will not be able to do that because I have already decided that I will not be able to do so. So there's also the effect of your surroundings. So if you, for example, have a new idea to start a new project, to follow your passion, to choose something different in life, and that you happen to express this idea to the wrong kind of people, this kind of people could be even your family or your friends. Many of them could not be as enthusiastic about the idea as you are, and they will eventually bring you down, especially if these people are people that you trust and that you believe in, or people that think they know you. So what to do in this case? First of all, you have to choose with who are you sharing your dreams, your projects, and your ideas. And second, always remember that you can choose. You can choose whatever idea that you accept, and you can choose all the thoughts and the energies and the people that are surrounding you. So if you are surrounded by people who are bringing you down, they're not encouraging you, they're not really putting more of the ideas that will bring you forward to your goal, maybe change rooms. So always be aware of what kind of people are surrounding you. Always be aware of what kind of thoughts, and ideas are surrounding you, because they will eventually shape your life and your results. All right, so here's the stick person again, and this is by far one of the best ideas that I ever came across, because it helped me a lot shape my results once I have gained a better understanding of myself and how my mind works. And once I understood that my results are only a function and the direct function of what's going on inside my mind. So when I understood what's going on inside my mind, and when I gained more awareness and saw clearer, I was able to make changes. So you cannot change something that you're not aware of. You don't know what you don't know. So you have to gain more awareness, and that's the basic main thing or first thing that you need to do. Once you gain awareness of the problem, once you see it, you can make a choice and you can make a change. So here's this famous picture again, the stick person. We see the first half, the conscious mind, and the second half, the subconscious mind. And today I wanted to talk about the self-image. And the self-image in what is one of the composites of the subconscious mind, is where our paradigm is stored, but it's also where our self-image, that is the inner hidden image that we have of ourselves, the opinion of that we have of ourselves, and also whatever limits or whatever capacity that we think we have. It's all stored in the subconscious mind. So unless and until we bring it to the surface, we won't be able to actually see what's going on in there. So how do we know what kind of self-image that is stored in our subconscious mind? What kind of self-opinion and self-belief do we have of ourselves? The answer is very simple. Always look at your results. The results will depend on your inner self-image. They always have, and they always win. So if the results are not satisfying to you, if you're not now in a step of life that you are satisfied with, that you want, or that you're happy with, look at the self-image and try to see what changes can you make. What limits are you putting on yourself that maybe are just an illusion? So that's the main question. What kind of self-image do I have? And how do I actually change it? How do I boost my self-image? And how do I make a better opinion of myself? Because the opinion I have of myself, it will shape all my results and eventually all my life. The hidden self-image has so much power, and that is because you can do more than what you think you can. So as Henry Ford says, the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. So if you start a task thinking that, oh, I would never be able to do that, and you would say it as a joke, but as consciously and with such belief, well, the action would follow that belief. The action would follow and would do the best it can to be aligned with that belief. So if you start a new task thinking, I cannot be able to do that, well, you won't be able to do that. But if you start something new and say, there's something I will explore about myself, let's see how I can do my best to succeed in that. It's the attitude at the start of the task that will determine more than anything else, more than the skill, more than the luck, more than the circumstance, if you are going to succeed or if you're going to fail. So I had a friend of mine that we trained together, and she always starts every single new exercise with the same kind of word. Oh, I can never do that. That sounds so difficult. That's too hard. I can never be able to do that. Well, guess what? She was never able to do half of what she wanted to do because she decided at the beginning of the task she's not able to do that. Well, why is your body going to do the opposite of what you believe in? You will not be able to do it if you think and if you say it out loud, especially if you say it out loud, because you declare it to yourself and to all your surroundings, to your body, to the circumstance, to gravity, to whatever it is in the universe, that it is hard and you won't be able to do it. So you won't be able to do it. And another story happened to me a few years ago. I was talking about tennis to a friend, and they asked if I tried tennis and if I was good in it. And I said, I never actually tried it, but I don't know if I'm good or not. I never tried it. And I think they were taking this the weird way, because they said, "But how could you think you're good if you never tried it?" And I said, well, how can I know if I'm bad if I never tried it either? So you don't know until you try. And guess what? You have the choice to decide or to think if you're going to be good or not. So it's really up to you. At the beginning of the task, choose your attitude, choose your approach, and choose your mindset. You can suggest to yourself, this is mine, I'm going to do it, I'm going to succeed, and I'm going to win this, whatever it is. Or you can say, this is too hard, I will never be able to do that. Please don't say so, because if you decided that, you won't. Questions and comments, please feel free. I'll have a look at the Facebook group in the meantime. All right. So here's an interesting picture of a girl looking at three sides of the same image, three sides of the mirror. And on one side, on the right side, she's looking at the image that she thinks she's projecting to the world, the image of self-confidence, glamour, positivity, whatever it is that she thinks she's projecting to the world. The image in the middle is the image she thinks she has of herself, and the image on the left is the inner self-image, that is the hidden image. And in that case, it's probably a negative and limiting self-image. Well, the thing is with this picture is that we think we're projecting something. We think we are giving a certain impression to people, but we only are able to give a lasting impression if that impression, if that image is aligned with our self-image. So let me explain this even further. If we think we are projecting the image of a self-confident person, but we are actually not, and we think that we are limited and we think that we are not worthy and we are not good enough, it will eventually show in our results. It will eventually show in our even nonverbal communication aspects. So if we have a certain limit in terms of our, for example, communication skills, the way we talk, the way we speak to each other, the way we approach a different or a new person, it will show, even if we think it's not. It will, because it's subconscious. And even if the person in front of us is not really noticing on a conscious level, they are noticing on a subconscious level. And this is why some people would talk to you in a very shiny, confident way, but you feel something is off. You feel that you cannot really feel it, what they're saying. So unless you are really aligned with your self-image, you won't be able to project something similar to the other person. So this girl is actually mistaken. She thinks she's projecting a good image of herself. She's doing her best. I'm sure the intention is good, but unless and until she takes care of that other girl that is in the left reflection of the mirror, nothing really is going to change, or at least nothing in the long term. And that's what's important. It's the long-term results and not really the first impression or the first interactions or the first results that we achieve. If it's not aligned with our self-image, it's not gonna last. I see there is a question here. What's the difference between ego and projection of self-image? So we need to have enough ego to be willing to win in life, but we don't need the ego to be overreacting and overshining our self-image. The ego and the self-image are two different things, because the ego is the image that is on the right. It's what we want to project to the world and what we want to take as space. But the inner self-image is actually hidden. The ego, somehow we are conscious of it. Somehow, if you have a discussion with someone and you're debating a subject, for example, the ego wants to win. And that's legitimate and that's good. You want to win in life, but you don't want the ego to have all the space, because the ego is usually mistaken if it's not aligned with your self-image. So you want to have enough ego to be able to win, but you don't want to have an ego problem. You don't want to be egocentric. And this is why we always, especially in communication, we always focus on the other person. We show interest and genuine interest on the other person, but we do also have a strong self-image of ourselves, and this is how we express ourselves. I don't know if that's clear enough. Right. So another thing that I wanted to really put the accent on is that you need to become the person that is able to achieve whatever goal that you are going to achieve. So unless and until you become that person, the results are going to stay the same. So in order for you to have the results that you want, you need to become the kind of person that is able to achieve those results. And if we want to have a closer look at our self-image and see if our self-image is good enough, well, we only need to see the results. If the results can actually improve, if your life can be better, well, your self-image can also be better. And you have to maybe put in extra work into becoming or into having a better opinion of yourself. It's really all about the impression that you have of yourself, about the opinion that you have of yourself. So I always know that whatever self-image that I have, it can always become better, because unless I already achieved all or everything that I want in life, I know that my better self-image is out there, because it's my better version of myself that can only achieve that goal, and not the me that is now. So let me share my screen again, and there is a really beautiful quote by James Allen that I wanted to share with you guys today. So it goes like this. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, in shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. We think in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. So what did that mean? It's a very beautiful piece of poetry, and it's from the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's a little book, and it's really full of golden nuggets. So I really advise you to have a look at it. So what's James Allen is telling us here, we think in secret and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. Our results are a direct reflection of our self-image. And we think in secret, it means that we think subconsciously of ourselves. We have a hidden self-image of ourselves, and we have a hidden opinion. And it comes to pass, it means it comes unconsciously and it passes um, behind our consciousness or behind our senses. So we're not really aware of it. But it's our environment, and by environment we mean the results, that is our looking glass. So if I want to see my self-image, I only have to look at my results. And when we say that mind is the master power that molds and makes, it means that everything starts in the mind, and everything starts with an idea. Everything that's surrounding me now, objects and things, started as an idea, started inside the mind of somebody that invented the thing or that created the thing or designed the thing, whatever it is. I started as an idea, you started as an idea, everything started as. So whatever idea that you have, whatever result that you want, you need to have a picture and then you need to put your mind in work. So mind is the master power that molds and makes. And evermore we take the tool of thought and shaping what we will, it brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. That means that we decide what our results are, and we decide what kind of outcome our life would take. Because the thing that we think about the most, what we said yesterday, we become what we think about all day long. So if we think about limits, about fear, about negativity, this is what we are going to manifest, because this is what we are going to put our mind to work to. And same thing if we think about our results and if we hold the picture, and this is why I insisted that you write down your want list and that you write down your goal over and over again, and that you repeat it over and over again, it will also come to fruition and becomes a reality. So you have the choice to orient or direct your tool of thought so that you can shape what you will. I have a question here. How can we improve our inner self-image? Repetition of new beliefs? Are there other ways? There are a few ways, and we are going to see that just later. Right. So before I show you this, I wanted to share a thought that I had the other day, and I think that was one of the best thoughts I ever had. I was doing something random. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but the thought came to my mind that, and I said it out loud. I don't know how I happened to say it. And I said, I like being you. I don't think like my conscious self said that. I think it was the self-image that came to express it out loud. And I really loved it, that I liked being the person I am. And then I thought I would never want to trade lives with anyone else. Even if some people have the results that I want in life, some people have things that I've always wanted, and I know maybe I would never be able to achieve, being impossible things in physical world, but still, I would never be wanting to trade lives with anyone else. And I think this is a very good place to be. And I was really, really happy because this is one of the happiest thoughts that I ever had, even if like the thing I was doing, I don't even remember what that was, but to me it was a sign that I'm having a very good self-image. And that for me was one of the greatest wins that I ever had. So I was really, really happy with that. And I made it into an affirmation. I like being myself. Every day I would repeat it over and over again. Since it's my self-image that decided that that was true, well, it's good enough to repeat it over and over again. And it makes it even more fun to be myself. So that actually reminded me of another story that about another friend who was very successful in life, a very brilliant person. But every time I would compliment him, he would take the compliment really uneasily, if it as if it was making him feel uncomfortable to receive a positive feedback, to receive a compliment. So if I say, like, for example, he was a photographer, I would compliment his photography and say, oh my God, this is genius. I don't know how he did this angle, but this was amazing. And he would say, oh, absolutely not. I'm not a genius at all. It's the camera and it has this feature and the angle was amazing and the light was already there and I did absolutely nothing special. And I wouldn't really know what to tell him. So like, why don't you actually take the compliment? It's you deserve it. You're worthy of it. Just take it. But something inside of him actually was preventing him from taking the compliment and um, just accepting it. Like somehow the self-image uh, was limiting him to accept that, because at some level, I guess, I didn't really dive deeper into that with him, but at some point, I think the self-image was telling him, "You're not worthy of that compliment. You cannot accept it," and that's what was going on, I think, inside of his subconscious mind. So that brings me to another question, or let's say it's a poll that I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to launch this poll. And so the question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, what score do you give yourself in terms of self-image? Just from 1 to 10. What do you think? So while waiting for you to answer the poll, I will start. I would give myself, today, I would give myself an 8 out of 10, because I know there is room for improvement. And I know that a few weeks ago, maybe months ago, I would have given myself a 6 or a 7. And the way I try to improve that score that I would give in terms of self-image was by tracking my wins. So every day I would track something that happened yesterday that I'm proud of and that I'm considering as a win. So over and over, you need to remind yourself of your daily wins. At the end of the year, for example, I did a recap of the year and I tried to remember what I did throughout the year that was actually a good result, that was a win. And when you remind yourself of your wins, you can improve your self-image, because you're actually proving to you that, hey, I'm worth it. I did this and I did that. This means I'm actually getting better. And this is, I think, what this whole thing is about. It's about you becoming a better person. It's about you doing better in life and having better results. And you have better results by becoming a better version of yourself. So this is why we need to track our wins in order for us to prove to ourselves that our self-image is getting better and better. And also in terms of self-talk, what kind of self-talk do you have? So if the self-image that you have, you think is positive, but the self-talk, sometimes a word would come out loud that is not really positive, or that is not really allowing you to grow, or that's not really encouraging, sometimes we do say these things to ourselves. So we need to improve that. We need to work on that. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. I have a 7. Okay. 7 is good. 7 is good. It always means that we can always do better and become better. All right. So let's get to the practical side of the work now, from self-talk to results. So I said that self-talk is very important, and it's actually what's going to shape your results. So how do we switch the self-talk? I think that's going to be the answer to your question, Nada. So how are we able to use something else beside affirmations and beside repetition to change the self-talk? So in order for us to do that, let's start to understand from where our self-talk is coming from. Usually the self-talk or the self-beliefs or the inner image that we have of ourselves became as a storage or as a history of all the critics, the rejections, the report cards, the comments, also the encouragements, the nice words, the gifts, the signs of love, the proofs of wins, everything that came into our life as a result or as an outside opinion or an outside projection or an outside idea actually accumulated inside our subconscious mind and made what was the version of you that is the 1.0 version of yourself. So your self-image is the composite, is the accumulation of all this. So in order for you to know what kind of self-talk you have, you need to dive deeper and bring that to the surface. Remember what kind of words that you grew up listening to, what kind of words are you repeating to yourself, what kind of, yesterday I talked about songs and the way that they are suggesting affirmations on a subconscious level. What kind of self-talk you have is all this accumulated and stored into your subconscious mind over the years. And it's a very old version and needs an update. So this is the understanding of our current self-talk. And now we need to understand how to change and how to update that version into your 2.0 version. So in order for us to do that, we need to come up with new thoughts. Again, if the results that are currently happening in our life need to be changed, if the current results are not satisfying, we need to come up with new thoughts. In order to come up with new thoughts, always surround yourself with the right kind of people. Try to listen to the right kind of images and sounds and ideas and thoughts, because all this will build up into new kinds of thoughts, new kinds of energies that will eventually transform into your new self-image. How did that happen? By changing the self-talk. How do we change the self-talk? Is by becoming aware of the current version of the self-talk that we have. When was the last time that you said something nice to yourself out loud? I remember I did that just a few minutes before I started this meeting. I said a few encouraging words to myself before I started. I know I need that, and I know this will eventually show in my results, and this will eventually show inside the way or in the way I express in myself and I'm projecting myself to the world. So I have to start by giving myself this thought, because I can choose. I can choose my thoughts, and I can also choose my actions and my words. So I make sure I choose the right kind of actions and words and self-talk that will bring me forward towards my results. And the results I want for me today is to succeed in my business, is to bring more value to the people I come across. So I want to start doing this to myself first in order for me to project the same idea that I'm projecting to myself. So the new self-talk could change with repetition. So by repetition, I mean inside and outside. What do I mean by that? Repetition from inside comes from the thoughts that we have, like a background talk that we have about ourselves, the conversation that we have with ourselves. And the outside repetition, it comes from our environment. So I always, for example, surround myself with people that are encouraging, that are positive, and that are nice to me. I don't want to surround myself by people who are mean and rude, because that will eventually affect my energy, that will eventually affect my self-talk. So make sure you repeat a better kind of self-talk from inside and from outside. And also, the second way to change the self-talk and change the self-image is emotional impact. And we talked about that yesterday. We talk about the self-impact and the way it has changed our paradigm. At least once, we've had an emotional impact about something, and it eventually changed our paradigm. So in order for us to do that again, maybe we need an emotional impact again. We also said that emotional impacts are usually negative, and we don't really have the ability to generate an emotional impact spontaneously and voluntarily to change our paradigm. So either we become very deeply and emotionally involved with the new idea, or we use repetition. That is the most structured and scientific way to change things. So either by repetition or by getting emotionally involved with the new idea. I would suggest both, so that first of all, you need to identify your future version, the kind of person who are actually able to achieve the kind of results that you want. And then you want to repeat that picture over and over again through meditation, through affirmations, and through actually projecting yourself and going there inside your mind. All right. So now I wanted to talk about the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome comes when we are suggesting to ourselves that we are not worthy of our current results, or that we are not worthy of our current position, for example, at work. And we start questioning ourselves, and we start this negative self-talk that is telling us, I'm not worthy of that. This is not my place. I'm a fraud. And this is the kind of self-talk that we never want to suggest, because if you're having the results that you're having, you're not an imposter, you're not a fraud. If you're having the results that you're having, this is actually a direct reflection of your current self-image. So you brought yourself there. It's your actions, your behavior, your attitude, and your thoughts that actually brought you to that position or to that results that you have. So you never actually want to have this imposter syndrome, especially consciously, because if you repeat it to yourself or to your coworkers, for example, at work, that actually have no idea what you're doing all day long in your work, and that you're not worthy of your results, this is the self-talk that I was talking about. This is the self-critic that you don't want to be. So always make sure that the imposter syndrome doesn't have a place in your conscious or your subconscious mind. You don't want to talk to yourself that way, because the way you talk to yourself will eventually transform into your current results. All right. So now let's have a look at our homework for today. So here's the first exercise. First, I want you to list 3 aspects of your self-image that you think can be better. It could be anything. For example, when I started, I listed my physical aspect. I wanted to change the way I look, or at least I wanted to make it better for me to have more self-confidence and to approach people with more ease. So I started doing that. Second thing for me was to be able to talk more to people. That was something that I struggled with in the past. I don't remember the third aspect, but here are just a few examples for you to start thinking about a few aspects of your self-image that you think can be better. I'm not saying that these are now a negative thing, but they probably can be better. So yeah, I'll let you think about that. Second exercise is to list 3 qualities or strengths that you believe your future version, or the one that realized your dream eventually, have or have more than your current version. So if you want to become a successful business owner, or if you are already a business owner that you want to scale your business internationally, let's say, think of 3 qualities or strengths that this kind of person have, or have more than your current version. So try to picture your future version and try to compare it to your current version and try to see what kind of better. Third exercise is to take into consideration what you wrote above, and then write 10 positive affirmations about yourself that you will repeat out loud every day. So I want you to think of 10 affirmations and write them down somewhere visible for you, or record yourself saying them and then repeat it out loud every day. And then you have some space to put your notes. And that's it for. I'll have a look at the Facebook group. All right, no questions. Good. Well, that's it for me today. Thank you for joining me live, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.